Thank you so much for being on. I'm excited too. Thank you for having me. I am glad to be with you. Today is really exciting for me. James Baldwin was probably one of my favorite, if not absolute favorite authors of all time. So to even be on today and to see Denver in the house and Be More and Jersey and New York, this feels like an award all unto itself. So thank you for having me on. I'm excited. I hope you came with a question or two, because I want to make sure I address what you want today. You need answers clearly. If you came on and you saw this was going to be on and you came on, there has to be something about love and relationships that's touching you today. So I want to make sure I deal with that. For just a moment though, I like to center myself. And so while I'm on with you, I'd like you to do the same. If you're driving, please don't do this, but we'll just take a moment of silence. If you give prayers, give a prayer, because I believe the information and the knowledge that we'll share, the energy that we'll exchange today will be positive for your life. And I want to make sure that we have clear channels. Even as my voice sounds a little scraggly, I want to make sure that the channels are clear for you to receive whatever you need from this assignment today. All right? From this talk, we will exchange positive energy and have the talk of love. Love is the energy of God. So I want to make sure that we have everything we need. Thank you, Dr. Marco. Let's take a moment of silence. I'll be saying my prayer as I normally do, but I want you to take a moment and clear yourself of all other energy so that you can receive the energy of love. Just 10 seconds. That always feels so good. You know, it's such a crazy world we live in. We just go, that silence can feel awkward. You know what I mean? Like if your phone's not vibrating or dinging, if someone's not talking to you or DMing you, if something is not in your ear, if Netflix isn't on, you don't have a song on, if the news isn't on, it feels awkward. And the great thing about self-love is that you're able to be still and silent and listen to what is being said to you by the universe. Much of what I do in love coaching, because I am a love coach, just to let you know, I am a love coach that deals specifically as a former pastor. I know that love is God. So I always preface my talks with that simple thought in mind. Love is God. So whenever we have a conversation about love, and whenever somebody tries to get political with me, I always remind them that you can't politicize God. I want you to take that in. You can't politicize God. You can't define God. You can't label God. You can't label love. You can't define love. You can't explain love in full terms. Love is beyond your definition. It is beyond your comprehension. All you can do is try to master love to your own ability. And the only way to do that is to become clear with yourself. Oh, I feel that. I feel that somebody needed that, because you've been trying to appease people because of the way you love. But the way you love cannot be defined. Let me break that down. And this is very important for me to clarify this before we talk about different parts and nuances of relationships. I got to clear your mind, because the way you think about love will affect how you treat love and how you treat others. So I want to make sure, I'm glad that touched you, Derek. I want to make sure that I clear some things, and I like clearing because clearing leaves space to build anew. So I want to say this, that I said just a moment ago, God is love. God cannot be defined. Love cannot be defined. The way I say that, and the reason I say that, is because when you look in the Bible or any religious text, actually most of the main religions have this thought that there were labels for God. There was Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Sikkenu, Jehovah Nisi, and all of these were names for God. But these names of God were really, people had an experience with God and they labeled the experience. So if God healed them, then God was the God who is a healer, Jehovah Jireh. If God saved them, then God was the banner, Jehovah Nisi. You following me? Jehovah Sikkenu, he was a deliverer. So whatever he was to that person, whoever God was to that person, they labeled it that way. That's how love is. Love does not have a label that you can give to it. Love is not defined by a man, or a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman. Love is defined by the people that experience it. And so you need not be ashamed of the way God moves in your life, because that is love moving in your life. The thing you feel towards someone is the authentic love of God. And so whatever that is, and the reason why I'm starting here is because some of you walk into relationships with the complete baggage of religion and expectations of family. And so I'm cleansing. Hopefully that's touching somebody out there right now. But I want to dig a little deeper. And so for any of you who now have questions about relationships specifically, I want you to feel free. Thank you, Emil, for joining. Thank you, Steve. I want you to have questions. I want you to talk back to me, because I don't feel like just talking at you. I want to talk with you. I want to answer some questions. So feel free to Q&A me, especially those of you who dropped your location. Those of you coming in now, just drop your city and state. And we're all one big family today as we talk about love and relationships. So just drop your city and state as we get started. We already did a part of what I do in love coaching sessions, and that's our breathing exercise. Other part of what I do, thank you, Los Angeles in the building. We got them all over the place. Part of what I do when I go into a love coaching session is I have the person first do their centering model. And so it is quieting the space. It is talking to yourself in prayer and to God in prayer, but it's also being able to talk to yourself in a deeper way. For those of you who want to talk to me, just make sure you hashtag me or tag me at Byron Jamal, so I know you actually want to say something or have a question, so I can bring you on for that reason. I know that Dr. Heavenly got spoofed by somebody, and they were doing some fellatio when she accepted them. So I want to make sure I have a fail-safe now to not have any spoofs on my lives. So please do that and keep listening where you're from. I want to thank everybody for coming in again as I move forward here. All right. Let me say, for those of you who are single, as I'm waiting your questions, for those of you who are single and are looking for relationships, he smiles. All right, I will let you come on in because you've been ready. Join me. That's right. No funny business in here. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name is Monroe, and I'm the one that hit from New Jersey. Well, maybe one of the ones that hit from New Jersey.
One of them. Yeah, y'all are in the building today, brother.
That's what's up.
Tell me how you're feeling. What's going on?
Listen, I'm so glad that I logged on today because on Thursday nights I do a live show called The Naked Truth About Dating and Relationships. And I have a question for you, sir, because you talked about God and love and God is love. This week I'm going to deal with unconditional love, like conditional love, unconditional love. Like, does it exist in the context of relationships, any kind of relationship, same gender loving, heterosexual relationships, whatever the case may be? Because the question that came up this weekend is, I was like, I'm starting to study, some more scripture a little bit more, but it was like, it feels like Jesus's love was conditional, because he said, if you, my love will abide in you if you do this. I will call you friend if you do this. So it begs the question for me, does unconditional love really exist for us, or should we have conditions? And I understand the piece on, not being, what am I trying to say? Not being abused. Yes. But I feel like we bring a lot of conditions. I'll speak I statements. I brought a lot of conditions approaching my relationships, and I just don't feel like they've served me well.
So let me answer you, because this is a key question for a lot of people who have this thought. I approach this two ways. First way I would approach it is to say, is everybody your friend?
You're asking me, right?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't consider it no, because I don't have a relationship with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So give Jesus some slack. Because what he was saying to the people he was speaking to is that everyone's not my friend. Because just like you said, everyone's not your friend. Now, doesn't mean you don't love them, right? It just means that they aren't connected to you in the way that you are connected to the friends that you call friends.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
That there is a bond that is deeper than knowing of me. That you don't know of me, you know me. You know what I would do. You know what I would not do. And so that is a friend.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want you to get hung up on Jesus don't love everybody, because he said, if you don't eat of my flesh and drink of my blood, and you are my friend, right? No, he said, I died for everyone, right? That the lost might be found. The lost are those who don't know him. So that is a universal love that is beyond a label. And that's why I started earlier talking about labels. Love is beyond the label. And a friend is a label. But the love of God is beyond that label.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So even when Jesus was talking about, where is my mother? Where is my father? It is only the people who are connected to me. So if you look at that, it looks like he doesn't love his mama or daddy. But the truth is he does. He's saying that the connection has to be deeper. You got to know more of me to be accepted. So I'm going to go another way with that, because we talk about unconditional love now. So unconditional love, let me ask you this. Unconditional love, most people when they say that are really talking about forgiveness.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because you don't need to ever separate love unless there's been an offense to the love.
Okay. All right.
Right? All right. Now stay with me, because I promise you this is going to
that's why I asked the question.
This is going to help you real quick. And everybody listening, this is important. You gotta take this and soak this in. Write this down. Yeah. Write this down. This is going to be important.
Got it.
Perfect.
I'm ready.
Ask yourself one question. Have you ever stubbed your toe?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Did you kill yourself?
No.
After you stubbed your toe?
No.
Why?
It wasn't that tragic. I mean, and me stubbing my toe didn't mean throwing away my whole life. Like my whole life wasn't trash because I stubbed my toe.
So you valued your life over the self-offense.
Yeah.
Because what you just did was offend your body.
Okay. All
right. So you just offended your body, but you forgave yourself real quick because you realized that your life is more than the offense. Now, unconditional love is saying that the life of the one I'm loving is greater than the offense.
Okay.
So the reason why you don't throw yourself away when you inflict silly or foolish love on yourself, like stubbing your toe, is because you realized that your life is worth something. The life of the person you are forgiving, the life of the person you are re-engaging, is that you realize their life is worth something more than the offense. When you can't love them anymore, suddenly the offense is greater than the life.
Wow. And are there offenses that are greater than the life? Like, I mean, because we hear people break up all the time over infidelity or other offenses. So is it a matter of threshold for a certain offense? Like, I mean, and because
No. Let me look at it this way. When do you go to sleep?
Probably not as early as I should, but when I'm tired, when I'm extremely tired, at some point
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your answer. When do you let go? When you're tired. Because it doesn't have to mean you hate the person. It doesn't have to mean that the offense was so great. You could just be tired. And letting go doesn't mean that you are disowning them or throwing them away or cutting off the love. I love to use this analogy. It actually came to me. I was on an interview just the other day, and now I use it all the time. So I want to share it with you, my brother. I think of a train, and I think of a train going around the world, if it was possible. Right. And that from the starting point is birth, and from the ending back to the beginning would be death, right? That is your personal love train. There are people who come into your love train, And you have to let them in because they have to have a ticket to come on the train, right? You don't get on Amtrak
Right.
without a ticket.
Right.
So if somebody's getting on your love train, it's because you allow them access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when they sit next to you, because that's all an experience is, when they sit next to you and you engage and you share time and connection, is that label? Is that interaction label at all? Does it have a label? When somebody just sits next to you and just...
Probably conversation, casual conversation. I mean, that's for somebody that I don't know, I would label it as that if I had to label it.
So more of an action than a state of being.
Yeah.
Or
maybe just being in a state of being, maybe I'm being friendly. I'm making myself friendly through casual conversation. So.
Think of that. I want you to stick right with that.
Yeah.
Think of that analogy. Somebody comes in your life and you call them your date. You call them your boyfriend. You call them your husband. That's a title.
Yeah.
But it is just them sitting next to you.
Okay.
The title doesn't matter as much as the state of being, that they are there, that you are enjoying it.
Okay.
And unconditionalness, whatever transition it takes, the unconditionalness of them sitting there is the love. Now, if they decide to get up for any reason, then the love is still conditionally there. They have had the experience with you, and so you can't sever the experience you share, even if they're removed from your presence. That's unconditional.
Okay. I'm gonna have to sit in that one because I honestly, I need to sit in that one for a minute. But yeah, okay, all right. No, you've given me a lot to think about, and you've given me some different perspective on that. I definitely like that piece about excuse me, I don't know why this person.
It's all right. They try to get your attention,
man,
bro.
I'm like, yo,
that could be your next.
This is. We'll see. But no, thank you so much. No, this is giving me.
It's been a pleasure, brother.
Bless you. All right.
Absolutely. Be blessed.
All right, man. Thank you.
I'm so glad he joined in. I'm so glad that he asked that question. That is such a key question for all of us to experience. For those of us who are experiencing pain and animosity from those who are giving us stress or struggle, from pain we have experienced from those who have hurt us, you got to remember that love is unconditional. It's not a title. It's not something you say that this is. Doesn't matter if they're a friend. Doesn't matter if they're a boyfriend. Doesn't matter if they're a partner. Doesn't matter if they are a husband. Doesn't matter whatever, bae, whatever your word is. Your word is irrelevant to the connection. The connection, long before were able to be married, there was a connection beyond the label. And so you got to go back and get to the root of why the label's mattering more to you than the connection. Anybody else have a question? Please come on, talk to me, because this is good. I like interacting. I feel like it's important to answer direct questions. If you have one, you can just put it in because I want to make sure that I get to those of you while I'm here. Use me because, I charge for this normally. I love y'all real good. I just give stuff away. I believe in this though. I feel like our community is in such a love deficit that we think that shade is healthier than affirmation. We think that giving someone a read is more affirmative and positive and brotherly than telling someone I love you. And so with that kind of diluted, convoluted mind and mentality and approach to relationships, we are battering ourselves. And so I want to make sure, I love you too. I want to make sure that you are hearing this so that it seeps into your spirit. So when you see a brother, you say, hey, king. If they want to be called queen, that's fine. But you say, hey, king, I love you, because that is what is needed. When we talk about relationships, I promise you, if you can have better interconnected relationships with just another brother, you can have healthier relationships in your own personal life. Your love life is at a deficit because you are not connecting with other brothers in a positive way that is healthy. And so that's a good one. I got one from Cordy, and so I want to make sure I answer this. For eligible bachelors who are constantly asked how or why are you single, how does one answer that? Ooh, that's good. Eligible. Well, let me start with the assumption. This is the assumption that you are eligible. Let me go into that. Now, singleness does not mean you are eligible. Successful career does not mean you are eligible. Money does not mean you are eligible. A lot of people knowing you does not mean you are eligible. Ooh, you look real good in your bathing suit does not mean you are eligible. So when we ask this question, we normally just ask it blanketly because we like to say you're single, so you should be with somebody, but that's not true. In fact, if you are not eligible, I want you to stay away from relationships. If you are not eligible, I want you to stay away from the dating apps. If you are not eligible, I want you to stop telling people that you want to be in a relationship. I will tell you right now that I've gotten in relationships and I was not eligible. Eligible, when you are eligible for something, that means you meet the qualifications. That means you meet the standards. Because somebody just asked, thank you, Jay. You were reading my mind, Jay. What makes you eligible? Right. If you are eligible, think about anything. I like to apply things to simple things like life situations. Are you eligible for a job? Now, you can get a job that you are not eligible for because somebody believes in you, right? You can get it. But normally on the job application, it said you got to have a master's and you got a bachelor's. It said you got to have 3 years of experience. You have 0. First relationship. It said you got to be able to lift a certain amount, but you don't know how to handle anything. You're supposed to handle 50 pounds. You can barely handle 10. So transfer that. Derek said, how do you translate that to emotional availability? All right, think about that. You're supposed to handle 50 pounds in the natural on the job application, but you can only handle 10. Now, in your emotions, you can barely handle your own stuff. Now you're expected, because singleness is selfishness. I love that. I love that. Singleness is the only phase of love. I believe there are 6. It's the only phase of love where you get to be completely selfish. You get to do all you want to do. Every part of you. The only part of you, every part of you, any part of you, and nobody will judge you as you're single. But the moment you go into dating, you slowly have to rid yourself of the selfishness in you, because you've been practicing selfishness, because it's been okay to be selfish because you're single. Oh, it's being written, brother. It's being written. This book is being written. It's almost coming out next month. And at the end of it, you come into the dating phase when you really haven't learned how to handle your singleness. You come into a dating phase still being as selfish as you were single. And so you end up being emotionally unavailable because your singleness always creeps in to the interaction. So they say, I'm busy today. And you say, I'm going to be busy tomorrow. Because you're busy today, I'm going to be busy tomorrow. But that's not how dating goes. You can't do that in a relationship. You can't do that in a marriage. You can't do tit for tat. That's selfishness. You can do that when you're single. You can play those games all day. In fact, you can play solitaire all day long when you're single. But the moment you get into a relationship, you have to start playing spades, baby, because now you got a partner. And your partner's going to rely on you to play your hand well, so they can play their hand well, so that you can have a winning hand. Selfishness doesn't work in spades, and it doesn't work in dating. It doesn't work in relationships. And so you've got to get to a point in your life where you fuse out the selfishness. So the question was, let me go back, because I went on a small selfishness tangent, singleness tangent, because I think a lot of people are really just supposed to be single right now. You're supposed to be playing solitaire. And that's okay. Play your solitaire. Learn how to handle cards. I wish I had some cards right here. This is all revelation, by the way. I don't use this normally. So I'm giving this fresh, the native son now. Learn how to handle cards. Learn how to hold them in your hand. Do I believe some people are meant to stay single? Yes. For as long as you need to. For as long as you need to learn how to handle the cards. Because the moment you get in a situation with somebody across from you and they need you to handle your cards, and you don't know how to handle your cards, and they relying on you for the win to handle your cards, you're in trouble. So you need to stay single as long as you handle your, don't know how, as long as you learn how to handle your cards, baby. So yes, stay single. Stay single. And age is not a factor in that. It's not even experience. I hate when people say that. Oh, you got to go through some things. No, you don't. You don't have to go through one thing. In fact, if you can learn from the lessons I'm telling you, you can watch the person who had failed relationships over and over again. If you can learn from your mom and your dad, if you can learn the lessons by learning from other people, you don't have to have one experience to have a healthy and successful relationship. People say you have to fail in order to succeed. That's not true. You just got to learn and listen and apply. So if you can watch a YouTube video, learn how to handle your cards, first time you pick them up, you can handle them right. But some people aren't willing to learn from the experience, to learn how to watch other people. They are needing to fail and fail and fail. And then what happens is they start complaining that love isn't possible. Well, it's possible because people are out there loving. What's impossible is you loving if you don't learn how to handle your cards. Question is, what do you do when people can't handle your cards or take your cards for granted? Let me just say this. This is a great question. Grade 8, 1906. I'm imagining that you are an alpha. God bless you. Let me just say thank y'all for trusting me with this moment. This is really important. What do you do with somebody does not know how to handle your cards or takes it for granted? Let me say this simple word. This is the simplest thing I can say. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. It doesn't matter. What someone else does not matter. What I teach is that you have to have enough inner fortitude to hold your cards so well. I like this card analogy. I'm going to keep using this. To hold your cards so well that if somebody tries to peek over and cheat, if somebody tries to knock them out your hand, if somebody tries to distract you, it won't matter because you got a grip on you. That's right, inner fortitude. You have a grip on you that is unshakable, undeniable, that it is expressed in everything you do. Why does it matter if the wind is blowing? Why does it matter if it's raining? Why does it matter if there are thunderstorms outside? Does it change you? Does it change your DNA? I love this. I love using this. I did this on a coaching session the other day. Somebody was talking about it was a divorcee, and he was about to see his ex, and she had been bad mouthing him. I'm gonna let you on right in a minute, HR. She was bad mouthing him, and he was like, I'm about to go to this wake, and I'm gonna experience all this negative energy from her family. What do? I said, you do you. This skin is the physical representation of a barrier. That if water were to drip on your hand, it wouldn't soak in. Because water does not absorb. Your skin was made so it would roll off. This is a physical representation of stuff rolling off of you. That if something comes to you, it rolls off of you because it has no authority or power unless you give it that power. So if someone tries to take advantage of you, you have to give them permission. I talked about the love train. Somebody can't get on your train unless you give them a ticket. Let me let my brother on. He wants to come on now. So come on, brother. All right. We still talking, y'all. I'm loving it. Let's go.
Hi.
Good day, brother. What's your name? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm Mitro. I'm from London. I was just wondering, I've been enjoying this program since it started, but I'm far away in London and I'm on my way back from work. I was wondering if you still be on like for the next 35 minutes. I would really like to have a conversation live here. Is that possible?
I will be on. So if you need to reach out one-on-one, just reach out in my inbox, Byron Jamal. All right.
Okay.
Stay connected, brother. I love you. Yes.
Okay then. Yeah, bye.
All right, London. What time is it over there?
I think it's 8:25.
You better know better than me. I'm not there.
It's 8:25. It's 8:25 now. 8:25 p.m. Yeah. I'm glad to talk with you, brother. I'll make sure I tune in again and check if you're still on, because I'm just going to jump on the bus now. So when I come off, I would really like to have a conversation. This is like you're speaking to me. This conversation is actually for me. Yeah.
I am glad, brother. And I believe that it is. And look, I want you to reach back out. So please do that, all right?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Okay, then.
You be safe. We'll talk a little later.
Okay. Okay, then.
All right.
Yeah, bye.
Bye now. All right, y'all. No authority to enter your life. I like that question. That was good. I am going to DM him. DM, I mean, he is going to DM me. I believe that. I really, look, I'm just here to help. And that's part of why. Let me transition if nobody else has a question. I would love for y'all to keep on asking me questions, because I'm sure y'all have them. There's enough for y'all on right now to throw something else at me. I like spontaneity, and I like answering things on the cuff. So throw them at me, try me, because, you know, the spirit of love speaks. And that's one thing I trust. I trust a lot. And I think this will help somebody. I don't really come on with a lot of notes to anything I do, because I do believe in the Spirit of God, and the Spirit of God is love. And I believe that love won't let you fail. Hear me when I say that. Sometimes you think things are failure, and they aren't failure. Love is allowing you to experience something, but it isn't failure. So trust love in the process of your life. I want to go to Emil's question, and then I'll get to Kevin's. How do you manage your own vulnerability? That's really good. So, someone asked me, I was on a call yesterday, and it was with entrepreneurs and business people. Oh, I like these questions. So I'll give a short answer here. I was on a call, and they said, how vulnerable can you be? Because if you're successful and you got a lot going on, you're nervous. I was on with Reese Odom, and she said, Byron, I know that people should like me because I am Reese Odom. I'm coming up in the entertainment industry. A lot of people know my face. I'm a nice person. But then on the other hand, they would try to get with me because I'm Reese Odom. That on the one hand, I know I'm a good person, so I should attract people. But on the other hand, I think they want me for the wrong reasons. And so to be vulnerable when I think people may want me for the wrong reason is difficult. How do I be vulnerable, Byron? And I said, how does a bucket get water in it? Simple answer. It opens its lid. The only way you can receive love is to allow yourself to receive it. You can't receive love any other way. There is no other way. So you're worried about the contaminants coming in, the things that are negative coming in. And that's the only reason why you don't want to be vulnerable, right? That's the only reason, because you're nervous about what may come in that's negative. Here's what you do to block that. You pour enough positive. So think about this. If a bucket is 99% full with water and a little bit of dirt gets in, that's just a little bit of dirt to 99% water. It's not much. In fact, it's barely seen. In fact, it's barely noticeable. So you would rather give up having the 99% because the 1% could get in? I have a Brita filter, and it filters most things, but something may slip in. That's what it says on the packaging. Something may get in, but I'm still going to drink the water and trust that I got enough pure water to sustain me. Short answer about vulnerability. Let me get these questions. I want to make sure I get all of them. All right. The next question up was, let me make sure I got it. Let me go back down. Y'all, I just want to make sure I get them right. All right. What's a good question to ask partners when dating? All right, first, you don't go heavy when you're dating. You go light. You go light is right, okay? You talk about things that you have in common or differences. So when I say that, I mean sports, if you like them or you don't. Talk about why you like them Talk about why you don't. Those are both two different questions, and they lead to two different scenarios. You can talk a long time about what you like and what you don't like. Talk about what you like and what they like, and if they're different, talk about the differences. Don't dive into things like who hurt you in the past. Don't talk about exes. Don't talk about the pain that your mama gave you or the abuse that you served. And you don't even have to really, I don't even like talking about top and bottom stuff, but you can, if you're that person that needs that, go ahead and do that. Dive into things that are actually relational and connective, because you're, at the end of the day, you're still brothers. And at the end of the day, you are two people. You are two humans. You are connecting on a human level. It is not that you're just trying to get them as in the bed or trying to get them in a ring on their finger. They are humans. Treat them like human beings first before anything else. No labels. Remember, I said that early on. Forget the labels. Deal with the human connection. So questions are always light before, and then you dive deeper later. All right? That answers that one as quickly as I could. Should we date within our friend circle or see people who are unknown? So let me start with this. Everybody's really unknown. That's deep. Oh, I just said that. Everybody's really unknown. You think you know somebody, but until you date them, until you really get in their close space and close quarters, even your friends are really unknown in certain parts to you. So to answer that question, you're always going to date unknown people, even if they're in your friend circle. Your friend circle is a nice place, but you just got to be careful how you do it. I always say treat them relationally. If you're going to date in a friend circle, I would not recommend the sexual component first, because that will always confuse things. Sex always brings in fact, people rely on sex often and think that it is the basis of the relationship. If the sex is good, then our relationship must be good. That's not always true. And if they're friends already, then you will automatically think that it's better than it really is because you've added the sexual component. So yes, I would date in your friend circle, but I would do it lightly, and I wouldn't be messy about it and date everybody in your friend circle, because you can find a lot of people. But if there's somebody who stands out that you feel like you really are connected to and you feel a good urging, I would mark one person only, and potentially do that. That's as far as I would go. All right. Can you talk about how early to reveal your deal breakers? That's good. Deal breakers. Deal breakers. I have a curious thought about deal breakers. I don't always believe that those are true. I think that we get in circles and pockets of people and we say it's a deal breaker because the people around us say it's a deal breaker. I think that you can say that somebody's sexual preference is a deal breaker. I think that you could say in a group that somebody's sexual top or bottom, versatile, all that could be a deal breaker. I think that their health status could be a deal breaker if you're in groups. But when you're one-on-one and you love someone enough, I think deal breakers can change. I think that things you said you would never do, you could do if love is there and that you're willing to work together to move the relationship forward. So do you really want to talk about the stuff that you can't handle when maybe down the road you could? Is that something you want to introduce? Do you really want to start your relationship off at any point saying what you could not handle? In fact, here's a better thing to do. Talk about what you would prefer in your life. Talk about right now where you are, because you don't know what you're going to want tomorrow. The assumption is you know what you want tomorrow. You don't know what you want tomorrow. So what you really can do is say what you need or prefer right now. That's better. That's healthier for the two people to express, this is what I need. Not a deal breaker, just telling you what I need right now, and we'll see how that conversation goes, period. You know, that keeps it light. I think we get real heavy with conversations and they could be lighter. So that's my thing for Dancing Librarian. Hopefully that helped you right there. Let's keep on going. I know I got more questions. Yes, dating light, the baggage. I love this. Okay, here we go. Just check. Is wanting I'm guessing, I know this word, reciprocity, I'm feeling, okay. In attention, in getting to know, okay. All right, I got you, all right. So if you are getting to know somebody and you want attention, you want their attention as much as you are wanting to give their attention, is that good? Is that bad? Is that okay? I got you. Sure, you want attention. Every time you post something, you want somebody to like it. You want attention, all right? I mean, of course you do. Of course you do. Think of every dog wants to be seen. There's no dog that doesn't want to be seen. There's no animal that doesn't want to be acknowledged for what it is. There's no creature living, breathing, birthed, no plant, no sun, no moon that doesn't want to be acknowledged for what it is. Of course, it's okay to want it as much as you give it. But understand, most relationships in life are going to be asymmetrical. Somebody's going to have more of a leading at one time than another. It is the acceptance that you may have more at this point, but tomorrow they may have more. It is the acceptance of that that allows you to keep a relationship going. It may not always be on the same level. Somebody may be happy and the other person upset. That counterbalances the relationship. But guess what? If a connection is there, then lean on the connection rather than trying to always find balance. Hope that's good for you. All right. We are still going. I'm loving this. How do you end? Time is, all right, 3:41. We're doing good. How do you end a long-term relationship that isn't bad, just isn't working? Well, how do you? Because it doesn't really matter that it was long-term. Like, let's take that out. Let's wipe that away. All right, long term. That is time, and time is relative. We learned that somewhere. I think it was either middle school or high school. Time is relative. Time doesn't matter. Okay, so the amount of time we base things on time, but they really don't matter. Okay, because you think about your childhood. You had 18 years of really being considered a child, and in that time, most of that you forgot. Time doesn't matter. So think about it as where I am right now and where I want to go. Does this matter? Is it mattering that it's working right now? Does it matter that it's fitting right now? 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, does that matter? No. What matters is it's still working. We still want this. It's still viable. It still can be salvaged. It still can work. We still can work at it. There's still more to do. It doesn't matter that it's 10 years, 5 years, 1 month, 1 week. What matters is not the time. It is the connection. How good is the connection? Are you getting 5G? Are you getting 1 bar? Are you getting 5 bars? Can you get it up? Is there the potential of getting it up, or is there not? That's the question. All right. So rephrase your question and answer it. I wanted to make sure that you got the right question because the question matters more than the actual answer. All right. Any advice on dating a man who has decided to live as a gay man in his older age? Yes, live as a gay man in his older age. I already said, time doesn't matter. You have experienced some things that are great. You have experienced as a pansexual, as a bisexual man. I understand multiple sides. And this is why I love Coach well. I acknowledge that my experience gives me the relevance to do the work I'm doing now. And so your experience gives you the relevance to accept the love that you will have in your life. You will accept unique love because you have a unique experience. You will have a more mature understanding of love because you see it from multiple sides. You understand it's not unilateral. You understand that it's not one-sided. You understand that it doesn't come from one direction. You understand that it can come from multiple ways, and you've accepted it. So that's the beautiful thing, is that you have accepted the love. And that now that you're living in a complete truth and a truth of who you are and a truth, your age doesn't matter. What matters is you accepting that you can find love right now. And if you accept that, you can. Good. Hope you receive that. Southern Style International, you deserve love, brother. What are the thresholds of pursuit? Where do you draw the line between expressing genuine interest and chasing someone who is not into you? Well, baby, if they're not into you, why are you chasing them? You can never make the right person love. You can never make the wrong person love you the right way. Look, this thing, I always say, this is a love journey. It's not a destination. There is no destination in love. It is a love journey. There is constant movement. And if someone is not willing to move with you, then there is no point of moving with them, period. There is no point of moving with somebody who is not willing to move. I don't care if you crawl. You can crawl with me. I will help you along if you are willing to crawl. But if you are not willing to move, there's nothing we can do. So if you have to chase them, you better be chasing after them in a way that means that they are moving so fast and trying to love you that you have to literally keep up. That's the only chasing that you should be doing. Okay? Love yourself enough. That would be my simple answer. Enough. Love yourself enough. Love yourself enough. All right. Next question. I'm loving y'all. Y'all are good. I like y'all. I'll talk to y'all all day. What advice do you have for Black men dating in the LGBTQ spaces that don't accept them? You see on dating apps profiles and read no blacks. How do you respond to that? Absolutely. I say there's 2 ways to approach that, baby. And this will be based on you. All right. BQMLV. This would be based on you and your internal fortitude. I would normally express to most human beings who have some level of insecurity, I would say drink from waters where you are accepted at the well. Drink from waters where you're accepted at the well. I would say that if you have to dip your face in and somebody tells you they don't want you there, I would say don't go there. Now, there are times when you need to break down, be the Rosa Parks of the movement. But when it comes to your love life, I would just say go where you're accepted. Yeah, there's no Rosa Parks for your love life. All right, for your personal love life. Now, you fighting for the cause and for all of us out there, then that's a different story. But if you're doing it for you, if it is your love life that you are concerned about, you need to go to the sources, to the places, to the streams. Don't go chasing waterfalls, okay? All right, a little TLC for you. Yeah, that's the best answer. That's simple. That's simple. Because look, not just no blacks, because I get this from my brothers who are a little thicker too, from my thick brothers, because I have issues with weight. Right now I don't, because I've been quarantined, dieting, and doing the stuff right. I'm losing a little weight, but normally I could have a little poundage on me. And so I know that when I'm thicker, some people be like, right? But some people don't like thin people, and some people don't like light-skinned people, and some people don't like dark-skinned people, and some people don't like short people. I would say go where they love you. If you are a Smurf, go where they love Smurfs. If you are a super tall giant, go where they love, go in the land of the giants. I promise you, there is a space for you. There is a space. So my thing is, go do research. Stop being lazy. Go do the research and find where you are welcome. All right? Your welcome space is out there. There's enough spaces for you to find your place. All right. Yes, I love this. Y'all are good, dude, good. Woo, woo, woo. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, y'all talking. Who else got a question? Hey, thank you. I look good. I'll take it. There is a space for you. Look, you got to get to a point where you are not arrogant, but you are confident. Confidence attracts love. Confidence attracts love. You got to accept the fact that you are who you are, and not much can change it. When my voice is raspy, my voice is raspy. When I sound like I've been gargling scrap metal, I promise you, I sound that way sometimes, and that just is what it is. When I look at myself and I don't like always what I see, guess what I do? I go back and remind myself, no, that's a lie. That's a lie, because God made you. Let me tell you a quick story, and then I'll get to your question, Just Jay. I was a kid, and I love telling this story, by the way. I was a kid, and I had an assignment when I was in elementary school. And when I was in elementary school, they gave us clay, and they said, you're going to make something for your parents, okay? They said, you're going to make something for your parents. So most of the kids were making like jars or vases for them, parents put plants in and stuff like that. I said, because when my dad was working hard, he's a Jamaican man, he was working hard, and he would always come home and he would be tired and he would sit in his chair and watch TV. So I said I was going to make my dad something, and I was going to make a bear in a chair, okay? A bear in a chair. Stick with me, I'm going somewhere. I was going to make a bear in a chair. So I started forming this thing, but mind you, my creative skills for clay molding is zero, like nothing. So what I made was like this thing, I can't even describe what it really looked like. And so when I finished at the end of the day, and the teacher was like, we're going to put the clay in the oven, I was almost in tears, because I knew that what I made was not what I saw in my head. The thing I wanted in my life was the thing I saw. The thing I wanted was not what it turned out to be. So I was sad. The next day I came and I was upset. She gave it back to us and she said, now you got to paint it. And so I thought I had redemption time, because now I had a chance to at least make pretty the thing that I thought was ugly. I'm going somewhere. To make pretty the thing I thought was ugly. And so I put my paint on and I thought it was going to look good. I mixed some colors together and I was doing my thing, but my painting skills are zero. And so the paint ended up merging into weird color that wasn't the color I thought it was going to be. And so when it went in the heat and came back out, it looked terrible. And so I had to take this home to my mom and my dad. And I was crying when I offered it, because I said, this is nothing what I wanted and it looks horrible. And my mom and my dad, they both cried, because they said, this is beautiful. You made this for us? You made this for us? I'm saying it looks terrible. And they put it on the mantle where we put things of honor, trophies and awards and plaques, because to them it was honorable. Look, you got to see that you were made, created, shaped the way you were supposed to be. And although you may not have come out the way you thought you were supposed to, the image that you're in is the one you were supposed to, and it's one that's honorable. It's beautiful. It makes people cry when you acknowledge that you are who you are. Being who you are is the best thing you can be, and no measure of paint can change how much you are. You can't paint your life with muscles. You can't paint your life with makeup. You can't paint your life with fancy clothes and titles and degrees. You are enough as the clay. Be beautiful as you are. And I promise you, you will attract somebody who sees the beauty of who you are without the paint at all. Felt like that needed a moment right there. I want to answer some more questions, but I feel like it's not appropriate right now. I feel like y'all need to let that soak. Seriously, I feel like that was a moment for somebody right there. That your healing is coming right now because you're realizing that you have been trying to paint your life. You have been trying to paint your life into something beautiful when you actually are already beautiful. And the paint only hides the reality, the vulnerability that is under you. The paint is a mask, y'all. Because what you really are is the same thing I am. Clay has one color. The clay she gave us all had one color. We could shape it the way we wanted, but it all had one color. And underneath all that paint, you still are the same person. So let me tell you about how this translates into your dating experience. Stop looking at people's paint. Start looking at what they are beyond the paint, because that's how you connect to another soul. That's how you connect to somebody real. That's how you connect to somebody's heart. That's how you really get to know. Well, you won't have to ask me, what questions should I ask them when you see beyond their paint? You won't have to ask me, who should I talk to when you can see beyond their paint? You won't have to ask a love coach any questions because you will see beyond their paint. Now, I don't want y'all to stop asking me questions because that's part of my job. And I'm here to help you transition your lens. Because I said this at the top of this. When you go back and watch this again, you will see that I said very top of this, that it is how you see. It is your mentality that it impacts how you live. And your outcome is because of how you live. Everything you've had or not had in your life up until now is because of how you thought. It's not because of where you grew up. It's not because of how you look. It's not because of where you've been. It's not because of what you've done. It's because of how you thought. And if you can change your thinking, you will change your life. If you can change your thought, you can transition your life. If you can change how you feel about yourself, you will change how people feel about you. But it doesn't matter how people feel about you. What matters is how you feel about yourself. And wherever you are, in Las Vegas, in New York, in Cleveland, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, in the Bahamas, in London, wherever you are, hear this word. You are enough. Your clay is enough. Don't come to me with your titles. Your clay is enough. Don't come to me with your fancy anything. I don't care about the commas in your bank account. You are enough. I want to thank you all for showing up today. Like Emil said, I want to thank you for showing up and sharing today to give your heart to me, allowing me to give mine back to you. That's what a relationship is. It is engagement. It is one person saying, I will take the risk to open my heart. And the other person saying, I will return it. I will return the openness with your openness. That is as simple as a date is. That is as simple as a relationship is. It is just doing it every day. So, a little bit about me as I close this out. If you want more about me, Byron Jamal, I'm at byronjamal.com. You can go right now and you can get my new course that I just created. Actually, I made sure I was done for this because I wanted to make sure it was ready for you. It's called Love at First Swipe. Find Love Better, Faster. It's on my website. So if you go to courses under my website, you'll see it. And if you use, for Native Son, if you use in all caps the coupon Native Son, you'll get 20% off. And that's good forever. So Native Son, that's good forever. For whenever y'all want to share that coupon with anybody who may need it, they'll get 20% off for the rest of my life. I want to thank you all. And remember, you are enough. You are worth the love you seek. You are worth the love you seek. I love you. I have to go, y'all. We're about to get cut off in 5 minutes. But you know what? Actually, I'll give you this. You got one more question. You put it in real quick. I will answer it before I go. If you got one more question, I will answer it, and I'll do a lightning round right now. That's right. Love at First Swipe, code Native Son, Byron Jamal. And I will answer it real quick. Anybody, even if you put it in and I missed it, put it in again, and I will do it right now. I'll put it in right now. Y'all are amazing. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please, please, please. If anybody got one. If not, that's fine too. Sometimes it's enough, right? Sometimes at the end of that date, you're just like, there's nothing else to say right now. It was. Say la. It was. Say la.